success and impact. If you'd like to learn more about this global community of world-class women thought leaders and experts, please don't hesitate to reach out. Now, as I said, this is our final wrap-up session with one and only Dagmar Fleming, and I'm so glad that all of you came for our final session with Dagmar. And I got to tell you, the resounding theme that I hear from people that have participated in this roundtable for the last year is that they feel like they've been working hard in their business, but they're not seeing the full progress, the results, or the impact that they really want to in their business. They feel stuck in a cycle of frustration, really wondering why their efforts aren't translating into the success that they envision for their business. And if this sounds familiar, this is why we hold the Breakthrough Power Hour, because Dagmar can help you break through the hidden barriers that are holding you back and unleash your business's true potential. Now, we invite you to jump into the chat and let us know where you're tuning in from, and then drop your contact information in the chat if you'd like to build connections. Now, so glad that all of you are here today, because we're going to talk about a topic that I think has incredible impact for everyone, no matter the size of your business, the industry in which you work. This is about unlocking feminine power, thriving in business by tapping into your authentic self. Now, I will tell you, from my experience, many women in business have traditionally followed more patriarchal norms and patterns of leadership. And often what I find is that that can suppress your unique strengths and abilities as a woman. This adherence to conventional methods of leadership can actually diminish your innate gifts. It can hinder your potential for thriving and expanding in both life and business. So this session today is going to empower you to break free from these constraints, unlock your feminine power, and leverage it to thrive authentically in the business world. Now, before we jump into this weighty, meaty topic, I have the great honor of introducing you to our expert during the last year for this incredible roundtable, the Breakthrough Power Hour, Dagmar Fleming. Now, Dagmar is a success mentor. She is a mindset expert and the developer of the triple quantum reset modality. And that is a transformational approach designed to help leaders overcome mental, emotional, and energetic blocks for personal and professional success. As a 4-time best-selling author and the founder of Unlock Your Success, Dagmar offers mentorship programs that guide people through significant growth and achievement. Her expertise in mindset transformation has led her to be a sought-after speaker and a leader and speaker at motivational summits alongside figures like Les Brown, Sharon Lecter, Diana Wentworth, Dr. Joe Fidali. So Dagmar's strategies really do deliver deep, impactful changes that lead clients to substantial breakthroughs, which is why we call this the Breakthrough Power Hour. So please help me welcome Dagmar Fleming and get ready for an unbelievably impactful hour. So Dagmar, thank you so much.
Welcome, ladies. I am so excited that you are here. This is my absolutely favorite subject. And today we're going to dive into the juiciness and magnetism of being a woman, something that has been given to us freely. We were born like this. And boy, what life feels like when we are running on this amazing goddess energy. So today we're going to do it slightly different than before. And it's going to be very interactive so that we all can feel for a moment what that amazing feminine energy looks like when it's applied to life and business. So first, I'm going to invite all of you to do a quiz that I specifically did for this topic. And the quiz will tell you how much masculine energy are you running on. So this will open our discussion. I'm going to place the link in the chat. And here's what you will need to complete it. You can do it on your cell phone. You can do it by opening a new window on a computer. take a pen. I need you to write down the score for each answer. Now, please pay attention. Some questions allow only one answer, some multiple. So it's important that if you have a choice of multiple questions, that you choose all that apply. And we will talk about qualities of the feminine embodiment, masculine overdrive. So let's see where everyone is. Towards the end of the quiz, your results will show up. So I'm going to give everyone a moment to dive in and let's see what energies are we running on. Does anyone have a question? Again, please note down as you go through each page how many points you scored. And then at the end, you will manually add them. I will get the result, but to get it faster, just add your points.
Dagmar, where do I find the quiz again?
It's in the chat.
Oh, it's in the chat.
And you won't have to share your score, but this will give you an idea and it will open a discussion for us. So if you want to share it, but if you don't feel like it, it's okay too. And when you're done, can you place done in the chat? I want to make sure everyone had a chance before we move forward. Wendy, just try the best that you can, meaning there's always something, some area of life that could be improved. So that's what I would select. Ariel, you just joined us, so we're going to invite you to do a quiz. I'm going to place the link in the chat. So we're going to start talking, but if you would like to, this is a quiz that's going to tell you how much of the feminine energy you embody versus masculine. So we're using it through open conversation. Okay. All right, so we have quite a few ladies that have done it. So first, I want to ask you, based on your score, where are you? Are you in the rising of the embodiment? So on the lowest side, midpoint, or highest side? So go ahead and put in the chat. Highest side means more masculine. Middle is you're still like a little bit 50-50, and then low feminine. So just tell us in the chat. You don't have to give me full score, just low, medium, or high. Low is if you are under 39 points. Medium is from 40 to 69, 69, and high 70 to 99. All right, so let's see how we are faring in the masculine department. All right, so we have quite a diversity. All right, so high output mode, a few are low. So wonderful. Okay, so first I want to talk about what is the feminine quality? What is the feminine essence? It's something different to every single one of us. So why don't we define the qualities that for you feel feminine? Can you put that in a chat, like with the word? It could be sensual, it could be receptive, compassionate, nurturing. What are the qualities that you associate with feminine embodiment? Let's try to define them. Or you can unmute yourself and just tell us. So we've got maternal, sensual, intuitive, caring, receptive, comforting. Wonderful. Let's talk about the masculine. What would the masculine energy feel like to you? Again, feel free to unmute yourself and speak if you wish. We've got a harsh, abrasive, perhaps dominant, action-oriented, logical, analytical, structured, confident, controlling, driven, pushing, action, ambitious. Exactly. So when we think about our um, relationship with the universe through the patriarchal system that we've operated under, there are certain archetypal behaviors that we ended up embodying to survive in the society, to survive within the cultural structures that we were placed in. And with time, they've become our operating system. But what if there was a way to revert back to the beauty and the strength and magnetism of our feminine essence? You see, in my work with countless female entrepreneurs, what I've noticed is that a lot of women are disconnected from their sacral chakra. And that is the chakra right over your uterus, your womb area, which is also connected to your mouth. So we see that a lot of women have a hard time showing up authentically and speaking truthfully because there are innate fears of feeling unsafe, of being placed in a survival mode, of every hurt and wound that you went through growing up and in your life and then in your career. So when we work on opening the feminine magnetism, we have to get back into the womb. We have to go back to that area of our body that is repository, this beautiful container for all the love that we carry throughout our lives, but unfortunately also through the all the wounds and hurts and painful memories that we've had. So I'm going to make it super experiential today, and then we're going to talk, we're going to interact. So first, I'm going to invite everyone to take your hands, which by the way are magnetic, and place them on your womb area, right underneath your ovaries, so that you hold yourself, you hold your belly in this craving manner. So go ahead and hold this. And as your hands are placed gently on your womb, now take a nice deep inhale through the nose and exhale with your mouth open. And whatever struggles of the day you've gone through, whatever stress, agitation, nervousness you may have experienced, we're just going to let it go. With each inhale, breathe in peace. With exhale, let all that stress leave your body. And we're going to get centered in our feminine essence. So imagine that your hands are becoming more and more magnetic, and they're pulling all of your life force into your core of your body. Nice deep inhale through the nose, exhale again, and let's bring you home. Because a lot of times when we are stressed out, we just shoot out. Our consciousness leaves the body. It's floating in the universe, trying to find solutions. But we manifest in the physical reality by being present in it. So the more you can be inside your body, the more your magnetism grows. It's like attraction and juiciness and power and sensuality, all that we as women represent comes forward. So again, a nice deep inhale through the nose, and as you exhale, let's soften again. So bring attention to all parts of your body that are in the action mode, the ones that are, oh, I need to hold myself in the seat and I've got 5 emails to write, whatever tension is still within you, that's a masculine energy. It needs to move forward. It needs to go. It needs to fix things. We're going to let that go. For the next 90 minutes, you're going to be in a flow, in a receptive mode, where nothing needs to be fixed. Nothing has to be overcome. There's simply essence of being. All right, so let's open it up a little bit and we'll practice more with that feminine essence magnetism throughout our meeting today. But let's open it up. What's surfacing for you as you're placing your hands over your womb? Would anyone want to tell us? And this is a safe space. Go ahead, Veronique.
Start. So what's happening? It connects, the womb for me is the maternal, remembering that I created a human being. And that softens me like immediately. And I used to be a warrior, very much in my masculine. So I think just placing my hand on my womb, like really redirects me immediately to that feminine energy.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing. Stefana says doubt. Would you like to tell us a little bit more?
So just as you were walking us through the breathing and the process of that, I've done a lot of the work, as you know. And when you asked, okay, so what's coming up? The first thing that came up was doubt, confusion. And I checked in, okay, what's that about? And there is still that deep part of me that was developing during that time when that part of, that's rooted in certain things, then apparently there's still some disbelief, some doubt and confusion that I can't just totally let go and just totally be open and receive and be in the flow. I still have to drive, I still have to push, I still have to force. So that's what is coming up energetically. I'm working to stay exterior to it and go, oh, that's really interesting. There's some more stuff here, right? But I'm familiar with this work enough to know, it's like, oh, okay, this is the process. Yeah, thanks.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing. So what's happening is whatever limitations we have placed upon ourselves, they are coming to our awareness, and they're coming because they're ready to go. So, when we go back to being inside the body, my encouragement to all of you is to use this technique of pulling your essence into your womb before any time you speak with a client. If you're a motivational speaker, before you go on stage, maybe if you're doing Facebook Live or LinkedIn. Because again, what happens is, let me ask you, if you walk into a warehouse that's completely empty, you might have many products in that warehouse, but you don't know where to go. You don't know what to, like in Amazon, there are all these boxes, there are all these available options for you, but nobody to guide you. So what happens is when we speak to the audience, but we're not present because we're so afraid, oh, they're going to judge me. They're going to think what I'm saying. Maybe they don't like my makeup. They don't like my nails. What happens is the potential client is trying to connect to you, but it is meandering through that empty warehouse. So just by coming into your body, one is now I see you and you see me, and we've got a connection, right? That's deeper. But also your magnetism increases because we all are vibrational beings. And what we vibrate out is what we receive. So the more present I am in my body, in my essence, the more my potential clients can select to be a part of my journey or not. And wouldn't you want to attract the right clients, the perfect, ideal client, instead of just wandering random people that ended up in your empty warehouse, right? So this becomes a way that we start very quickly attracting the perfect avatar, client avatar, into our consciousness. The other thing that happens is we start showing up authentically. Because when you're inside your body and you activated your sacral chakra, which is the energy center right over your womb, inevitably your lips activate as well. And it becomes more and more uncomfortable to not speak your truth. So, how often do we limit how we show up because we were told otherwise? So, I want to open a discussion for a moment. If you think about stepping fully into your essence, there is often inherent fear of being rejected. It goes back all the way to the tribal consciousness. As women, we were the weaker sex. So we had to stay in the cave like our rah-rah men, I'm Tarzan, you Joe. Jane, our Tarzans went out and gathered the food and hunted the tigers while we were nourishing our tribe. So, in that scenario, you had to belong to a group because if you were not part of a tribe, your survival would be in danger. It would be much harder. So, this tribal consciousness, especially for women, have encoded us with this constant need to seek peace, even when you have to pay price for it because you couldn't express yourself freely with somebody else. You have to be always nourishing others, nurturing, because that was your role. So as we navigate through the current societal and cultural dynamic, it's so confusing because we are told that we're supposed to show up at work and be the drivers and productivity experts and goal-oriented entrepreneurs. And then we come home and we have to nurture our family. So which ones are we? Are we the men? Are we the women? So as we go through this softening of our essence and back to the femininity which we were divinely designed, we have to unwind some of these patterns. So I want to start a conversation on what are the cultural patterns that you may be running on that define what kind of woman you can or cannot be. What are the religious patterns? Thinking certain religions, women have to cover their hair, they have to cover their outfits. What is your religious definition of how the woman should show up? And how do you play into it? I want you to think about relationships. Back to your parental parental norms. How did your parents define the role of a woman in a relationship? Are you following your patterns of your parents, whether it's expectation of your father or your mother, which creates certain limitations on who you can be? Also, other women in a society where patriarchal concepts controlled success, we were essentially told that there was a finite pie from which we could gather resources, which means we were always in competition for clients, for visibility, in competition with men, which led us to believe that we also have to compete with other women. So in what way maybe that pattern is showing up in your life or business? And then even spiritual. What is your connection to the higher power? Is that higher power recognizing you as the beauty of that divine source consciousness? Are you in any way, of a lesser importance because you're a woman as a gender? How does that dynamic play into how you show up in the world? So I know I opened up for a lot of concepts, but until we look through what has been given to us and what pattern we are running on, it's really hard to unwind it. So I want to share a story with you, and maybe that will open some ideas for your personal stories that you may be embodying unconsciously or consciously. I had a severe spinal injury a few years back, and to the point where I couldn't move much. I had to lie on my belly pretty much for months at a time. And even to go to a doctor, I had to be driven in a car while lying down on my belly in the back of a car. Now, I was brought up by my father to be a very independent woman. So my whole life, I have taken care of myself and of others. I rarely complained. If there was a problem, I addressed it on my own, and I tried to be really self-sufficient. So when this injury happened, my life crashed on me, not because I was in severe pain, which I was, but because suddenly I couldn't be the daddy's girl, the woman that always is in charge of everything and should be able to fix every problem, no matter how small or big. And during that time, I had to rely on many people in my lives to take me to the doctor's office, to get me the medicine, to take my dog out when I was crawling on my hands. So in that process, I realized that that was one of the gifts of the universe to show me that it is okay to receive. That as women, as goddesses incarnated on this planet, we have the right to not only be self-sufficient, but to also be in a receptive mode. So when you look at your life, how open are you to receive? What are your stories in your life where your masculinity is a driving force? How is that showing up for you? Because today we're going to help you through a guided meditation to step out of the need to always do, create, manifest, and allow receiving of the outcomes that you desire. So how does this story resonate? Or what is it bringing up in your awareness? Would anyone like to share? Anything at all that's rising today? Is it helpful what we are talking about? Could you at least tell me in the chat?
Yes, so I'm so happy to be with you because it allows me to take a look back of where I was just a few years ago. Very much stuck into the warrior's mode, and it was that close to really not end well, meaning I got sick. And so I'm really, your story though is getting back, making me like look back, but in a good way, because now I realize like how far I've come into giving up on the warrior, giving up on I'm on my own in so many ways. And it's not that I didn't want to ask, it's just it didn't cross my mind to rely on someone else, right? So, and that's a personal story and everything. But so yeah, your story resonates a lot. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Who else? Julian, how are you doing?
Good, how are you? So I'll share something. So I've had a pretty significant soul level astrological awakening this month, and I'm contributing that to my mother passing away because I've had this whole download of information that I didn't even know existed. So I'm on this sort of journey. And I started looking at my birth chart and astrocartology and chronocartology. And so for me, and I'm sure same as people on this call, you might rest for like 15 minutes in your day. And then you're like, I got to find clients. I got to clean the house. I got to do this. I got to make dinner. But I'm learning that you can't really do all the things in one day. You really have to let yourself rest for an entire day and just, so I'm trying to do, okay, focus on business one on X days of the month and business two, or these days are going to be the rest days. Now, that being said, I literally just learned about this over the weekend and I tried it for the first time on Sunday. I got about 2 minutes in before I was like, gotta do something else. And I was like, nope, take a step back, just exist. So I come from a very performative background. I mean, if you want to be loved and acknowledged, you better perform, you better be A+ student 100% of the time, always. Like that's always how I've operated. So this is very new to me, but the way that the kind of grind was happening is not working for me. So kind of in the whole grand scheme of things, I'm on this sort of shift, which is very much including, bringing in more of that feminine energy. So this is a very relative topic to me right now. So
Thank you. Thank you so much, Jillian. And thank you for sharing. Thank you for opening up because again, as women, we're not always having a circle where we can come in and simply be transparent and be ourselves because there is an expectation. You have to have your makeup on. You have to look pretty. You have to look put together. But what if we're not feeling that way, right? So when it comes to doing and receiving, I will be transparent with all of you. I am a workaholic. I work all the time, but I work differently. And the reason I can work so many hours is because I love what I do and I always follow the energy. So what does this mean? There are days when I wake up and I'm like completely unmotivated. And what's the first thing that comes in? Guilt and shame, just like Jillian told us, because we should be doing it. We should be cranking up, right? But what I do is I ask myself in that moment, what feels aligned? What feels joyful right now? And sometimes it means doing your dishes. And the amazing thing happens is when I walk away from need to do something that is productive and do something that I just feel like doing right now. Maybe it's taking my dog for a walk. Maybe it's grocery shopping. What ends up happening is that the resistance goes down because I'm not pushing anymore. And in that process, I open myself to receiving. And every time I do that, I most likely will create a new marketing strategy. I will conceptualize a new event, what it is about. While I'm walking my dog, I will record an article because as I'm walking, my brain is open to joy and to happiness. So there I've got a concept for what I want to express. So when we follow the energy, when we follow more of the feminine idea of productivity, which again is not for everyone, it works for me, then everything we do feels in alignment. Because ultimately, does it matter if you send an email at 9 a.m. or at 7 p.m. as long as you send it? But what happens is when we're doing something against ourselves because we have to do it now and don't release the limiting beliefs around it, then all we're going to do is create more friction. So an email sent to a client or a prospect while we are running on an energy, God, another email, I'm so not into it. I really don't want to speak to anybody right now. That energy carries through that email, whether you realize it or not. Wouldn't it be better to maybe step out into your garden, take 15 minutes of reset, come back to your desk, and now that you are looking forward to connecting with the client, that email has a better chance of landing the way you designed it, the way you desired it to be. So I know these are a little bit different concepts, but I just want to open our minds to what would it look like if we let go of guilt, of having to do and push, and instead to receive. So jokingly, to illustrate this point, I'm going to ask you, are you able to impregnate yourself? You're ready to get pregnant and you're like, I'm going to do it. Can you get pregnant by doing it yourself? Probably not. So how do we create a new amazing being? By receiving the sperm from a man. So we're in our goddess energy saying to the universe, I'm ready to birth a child. Bring me the sperm in, right? So what ends up happening is that we allow ourselves to receive from the universe. As women, we're designed to receive. Is it possible that if we just allowed more of that in life, in business, then the universe could actually grant us the opportunity to receive it? It's like that joke where a person's praying to God saying, God, I want to win the lottery. God, I want to win this lottery. I really want to win this lottery. And God says, well, yes, but do you have a lottery ticket? Because how can I give it to you, right? So are we willing to say to the universe, yeah, I would like to receive it. I would like to receive the lottery ticket. I would like to receive opportunities. I would like to receive clients. I want to be taken care of. Because it's not about waiting for a knight in a shining armor of dropping out of the universe. But when you're in a state of a receptivity and flow, that's when your intuition will guide you to the most aligned action, as opposed to something that you believe will get you the excuse me, will get you the outcome that you want. So you will still be full of action, but it will be intuitive action. It will be aligned action. You will be vibrationally matched with your prospects. You will feel the magnetism. So how does it look in action? When I attend conferences on Zoom, I will just look at all 200 people, and somebody in that conference will look magnetic to me, like I feel connection. I don't know yet why, I don't know anything about that person. I will type up in the chat that I would love to get connected with you and get to know you. Before you know it, we'll schedule a connection call. And this might be a joint venture partner. This might be my prospect. This might be my mentor, right? So by following intuition, we attract just the right opportunities. And that's the feminine way. So how does this resonate? What is it opening up for you? Go ahead, Rana.
I think what it speaks to for me is that we're so focused on the end result and pushing that path that we forget to create in the now. We forget to receive and be aware in the now. And so we miss those opportunities. We miss the small little gifts that the universe gives us because we're so focused on getting to the end result. We're so pushing instead of sitting in ourselves and receiving it. So one of the ways that a great example that popped in my head when you were talking, ways that resonated for me was there's this truck that I really, really want. And instead of like hyper focusing on getting the clients and the money and how am I going to get this truck, I cleared the garage out and made space for it. So, and that calmed me down enough to kind of think of where I needed to go in the direction to kind of get my goals and stuff like that. So the energy flowed in a different path, but it was still kind of letting the universe know that I was willing to receive what I wanted.
Exactly. Thank you so much for sharing. So let me ask everyone, let's do a quick poll. On a scale from 1 to 10, when I say to you this affirmation, I am always taken care of, universe supports me in all I do and desire. This, by the way, is going to be our affirmation during the quick meditation that we will do. On a scale from 1 to 10, how much do you subscribe to that belief? 10 being, I really believe it, universe supports me all the time. 1, I don't see any signs of being supported. If I don't do it, it's not going to happen. So I'm going to put that in the chat. Again, I am always taken care of. The universe supports me in all I do and desire. On a scale from 1 to 10, where are you? 1, not supported, I don't feel it. 10 means fully supported. I feel it. So not so necessarily what it is or not, just how you feel. I know Linda has a beautiful relationship with the universe. She's full 10. Stefana's around the 8, Jillian 3, Nancy 4. So, by the way, this is not a judgment. This is a space where we need to create a new relationship with the universe. So if we are honest with where we are, then there's a room to improve, right? So recently I was listening to this lecture, and the gentleman was talking about how rarely we feel that there is a higher power that can truly hold us in our hands, that can truly support us, because this instinct for survival, for competition, that has been dominant in our societies and cultures. So letting go of that and allowing to feel supported is what opens the space for us. So let's take a moment and let's encode these concepts even further. Wherever you are, if you're a 10, you can be a 20, right? So I'm going to invite everyone to take a nice deep inhale through the nose. As you exhale, again, let's bring the hands to your womb to be really in that magnetic feminine essence of receiving. You can close your eyes, soften your body. Nothing is happening. There are no judgments. There are no things to do. We're here just for ourselves. And as you relax, you can speak loudly. You can speak in your mind, but repeat after me. I am always taken care of. The universe supports me in all I do and desire. Everything works out for me in every moment. I am peaceful, full of energy and joy. And let's repeat it again. I am always taken care of. The universe supports me in all I do and desire. Everything works out for me in every moment. I am peaceful, full of energy and joy. And now, since we are in this open space of receiving, I'm going to invite you to stay with your eyes closed. And for a moment, I'm going to invite you to imagine yourself as a goddess that walks through this planet in all your beauty, sensuality, your radiance, your magnetism. Anywhere you go, there are petals of roses thrown at your feet. You can smell the fragrance of the rose or your favorite perfume. It's always sunny and beautiful. People come towards you and they're always smiling. They want to support you. They want to work with you. They want to lead you into new, uncharted territories that are exciting. Anytime you need something, just the right opportunity shows up to solve whatever problems you may have. If you feel challenged, it gets resolved very fast by divine design. So life is easy, and the path before you is uniquely yours because it is safe to be you. The entire universe is waiting for you because there's no one like you. You are unique. And it's that uniqueness that we crave. So as you move along, feeling so comfortable with who you are, you express the deepest aspects of your personality, your values, your essence that you may have buried because you didn't feel safe, or perhaps because you were judged for who you are. But it is okay now to let that go. It is okay to be you in all your beauty and magnificence. It is okay to simply show up for your life and receive with open arms. So imagine that you're extending your arms forward, fully open. You can even do that if you wish. And now imagine that as your hands are extended in front of you, the universe is showering you with gifts, opportunities, creativity, intuition, collaborations, prosperity, abundance, health, vitality, and anything you desire. It is yours to receive. It is yours to claim. It's been your divine birthright. And so it is. So let's come back. How did this resonate? How do we feel in our new goddess aura? And if you need inspiration for which goddess you could be, I'm going to place the goddess guide, which is also a journal with prompts for meditation, where you can look at archetypal, the archetypes of feminine power that have been encoded through various religions and mythologies, cultures, and see what kind of feminine essence they projected, and to ask yourself how you could embody more of that. So it's a very fun guide, beautifully illustrated with journaling prompts. So you can choose to be whatever type of goddess you desire to be. And you can be one on Monday, another one on Tuesday. All right, so I'm going to pause now before I continue and ask what transpired during our short meditation. How did it feel to open your arms and simply say, universe, I'm ready to receive? And what would it look like if you allowed yourself to receive? Why is everyone so quiet? Is it difficult?
Well, I'll start here because obviously I have no problem asking. I mean, I said I was a 10 largely because I think God is my best friend. Like, I think he's with me all the time. I talk to him constantly. I have 1,000 micro prayers a day. And most of the time it is simply, okay, tell me what to say, tell me what to do, tell me what to think. And I don't have to reset or follow the energy away from something negative or follow the energy towards something good, because every single day I'm in a state of incredible gratitude because I know he's listening. What I consider to be God, you can call it universe or whatever, he's listening. And so I'm constantly in a state of appreciation and gratitude. So I feel happy about everything that I have to do during the day. I mean, literally everything. And I mean, I can literally say, hey, this month I'd like to onboard 14 new members, and I'd like them all to be related to marketing because, wow, we have a lot of women in leadership level that need help with marketing. I'll be darned if I don't get 15 people signed up with meetings for me with a background in marketing. It's happened so many times, I can't doubt it anymore. And it's not like I'm testing God. It's just that I know he's with me all the time, providing. So there's very little that I ask for unless it's outside of God's design for my life, right? If it's not under his will, I doubt he'll give it to me. But as long as it's within his will, I mean, I feel like he's with me all the time. And the only thing I can be is grateful and appreciative of everything that's given to me, because it's not by me, it's by him. I feel completely clear on that. So it literally lifts all responsibility in some ways off of me. All I have to do is partner with him. All I have to do is partner with the source, and boom, it's done.
Thank you. Thank you, Linda. And that's
Well, that
such a
sounds crazy when I say it out loud, but I
no,
swear
no,
it's true.
it's actually perfect example of being open to receive. So, that's something that is the hardest to understand. Many years ago, my mentor called me and said, Dagmar, you need to work on your openness to receive. And I was like, what is she talking about? Whatever I want, I will manifest, meaning I'm going to do it because my daddy taught me how to do things, to get things, and I am reliable and I can count on me and I've got it, right? She's like, yeah, chill. Just learn how to receive instead. So here's what we're gonna do as one of the practices that you can do to open yourself to receive. I teach this in the Unlocking Your Money Story webinars because we have all these concepts of what is allowed and what is not. And one of them is go through your life every single day and ask the universe to gift you some money every single day. Now, that could be a penny, right? But what happens is when you say, universe, for the next 21 days, magic number, I'm going to receive money every single day. Now, what that might look like is suddenly you will finally look down on a pavement and there will be a penny. So when you pick a penny, you can tell universe, thank you so much. I love you. I love you. It's a penny you never had to work for, right? And then you put it on your money altar, right? Does anyone have one, by the way? Right? So then the next day, you're going to a grocery store. And as you pay, there is a coupon code that just got, pulled out of the cash machine, right? So you say, universe, oh my goodness, says $4 off. I just got $4. Thank you so much, right? And then you go, and maybe the next day, a friend calls you and says, hey, I've got a prospect for you. She really needs that marketing strategy. And boom, you just made some money. Say, universe, thank you so much. I just received money. And then the next day, you go to your favorite, store for clothing, and suddenly it's your favorite dress. Turns out it's buy one, get one free. And you say, universe, thank you so much. I received money today, right? And then somebody comes over and says, you know what? I've got a plant that I am moving out and I can't take care of. Can I give it to you? Well, that plant is worth $20. You just received it in the form of a plant. So you say, universe, thank you so much for what I've just received. Can you see how fast you would train yourself to observe that the universe is giving you things? And when it's little, it's easier because women have been programmed to know, like we can receive the compliment. We shouldn't be too greedy, right? That's not good. But when we practice with the penny, trust me, when you start picking up pennies, you'll pick up $10, and one day you'll pick up $100. And when you do this in your life, when you play this game, which I play constantly, magical thing happens. Like literally, I walked into a grocery store once and they couldn't find a price for something really expensive. It was like $25, like an olive oil. And they're like, we can't find the code for it. And I'm like, well, it's right here on the shelf, it says $25. And they're like, just take it. I'm like, who just gives you things like that, right? But when you're open to receive, when you're in that feminine flow, people respond to you. And the universe, by the way, does not always grant you the way you desire. A lot of people desire money, but what if the universe grants you friendship? What if the universe grants you mentorship? What if your universe grants you sisterhood and support? What if you're granted advice from a holistic doctor on something that you've been struggled with, right? when we start observing and confirming that the universe has your back, that's when we can actually receive. And this is what Rona was speaking about earlier. It's opening brand new opportunity for us, brand new timeline when we can be showered with gifts because we finally said to the universe, yeah, I'm showing up. I am totally open to receive. How does that resonate? Who's going to practice next? Laura's like, yeah. Peggy, we haven't heard from you. Hello. You look
I'm a lot
beautiful in
like
your essence.
I'm a lot like Linda. I think, I have a partner in God, and I am a very firm believer, and think that, it's okay to have a conversation everywhere and anywhere. And it's okay to make prayers. I don't know if I'm quite as so bold as to make asks. I might practice that a little bit more. But prayers. And I recognize that you don't always get everything that you want. And sometimes, that old Garth Brooks song, thank God for unanswered prayers. Because sometimes that's just the way the universe works. And I do think that if you're in tune with and paying attention, there's gifts every day from the universe. If you're, you just have to be paying attention.
Yeah. And to allow to receive without guilt or shame or some kind of self-opinion, bias, judgment, because as women, we do that a lot. So let's talk about judgment for a moment. I want you to invite you to think for a moment, and you don't have to share it, by the way, but since you do have your journal where you were doing your feminine energy embodiment, what aspect of yourself, it doesn't have to be business, it can be life, it can be health, relationships, money, whatever it is, what aspect of you have you been judging the harshest? And as you look at that aspect of yourself, I'm going to invite you to ask yourself a question. We're going to call her she because it's part of you. Does she deserve to be judged for who she is? Perhaps you're judging struggles that you have in certain area of your life. Maybe you're disappointed with yourself because you didn't reach certain level or things didn't unfold the way you wanted. What if it was nobody's fault? What if the expectations were not even yours? What if you were doing the best that you can at all times? Would it be all right to let go of that judgment, that harsh tone, this internal punisher, and instead step into compassion? So I'm going to invite you to use one of the exercises from my Unlock Your Success program, where we transmute something that's not going right with positivity. So whatever that aspect is, I'm going to invite you to love the heck out of it. So say to yourself, I love the part of me that, and you're going to add whatever you've been judging yourself for. I love the part of me that struggles with my health. I love the part of me that can't find correct prospect. I love the part of me that hates accounting. I love the part of me that has conflicts with my child. I love the part of me that's afraid of public speaking. What is it that you put in your journal that you were judging yourself the harshest for? Today, I'm going to invite you to step into the archetype of the divine mother with unconditional love, because that is the feminine essence that comes in and says, I will not judge you. I will love you through all your weaknesses and all your strengths, through anything that you're going through. And it's going to be completely okay. You cannot disappoint the Divine Mother. So as you look at that aspect of you, just take a nice deep inhale through the nose, and as you exhale, let these opinions go. Let the disappointments, expectations, opinions. And as you exhale all that judgment, with inhale, invite this unconditional love, compassion, nourishment, nurturing, because you're always doing the best that you can. And you're so beautiful as you go through your life and as you go through your journey. So embrace it. That's the beauty of being a woman. We can be strong in a different way. We can be strong in a flow, in love, in compassion. We can use a different operating system. You can be magnetic and powerful by employing your intuitive gifts to know just the right thing to do at the right time. You can employ your empathic abilities to connect to others, to understand where they're coming from. You can be powerful by knowing that the universe is abundant and that there is enough for everyone. So you will always find a win-win solution for everyone. There are so many ways in which women are inherently powerful and yet rarely recognize it as that innate power that they can operate from. So imagine water for a moment. Feels so gentle. It moves. It takes the container of whatever, it takes the shape of its container. And yet, if you have a stream of water going over rock, with time, it erodes it. It paves its own path. So who wins? The rock, that masculine, strong, I'm here and you can't break me? Or the gentle, fluid water that finds its crevices and finds its own path? Could you show up in your life with this agility and permission to explore who you are and how you want to show up in the world and simply be you? So with that, I'm going to open it for whatever's coming up for you, whatever you would like to shift out of, whatever you feel is resonating. You can just tell us how you enjoy our conversation, or what is it striking, anything that you wish. We can do the tune in on the patterns that are showing up today and help you release them, or we can just have a discussion on what's resonating today. We have so many of you on the call we haven't heard from yet. I would love to connect with you. Peggy, you have such a beautiful face and there's so much radiance coming out of it. Would you be okay to say hello?
Sure. A lot of what you said today kind of summed up my business career. I was in business for 40 years. And I'd say the first 30 was very male dominated. I was in a job that it was mostly men. And I always had to prove myself. I always felt like that. And you had to struggle for respect and success. And then that was the first 30 years. And then the last 10 years, I turned it all around. I got full control of my company. And I started managing a team of people. And they didn't think of me like the boss. I was just Peggy. And the company, it was a team of 5 people. And the company became a big success with just 5 people running it. And I was sort of a team member. And that part felt like the feminine part that you were explaining. Then as of today, I sold the company because I was sick. And so I sort of got into your sick when you started explaining your problem. I had a lung transplant, and it really physically set me back. And I had to rely on my husband, and I still do. It's only been 6 months. And my caregivers and my friends and people that would help me do things. And each day I get a little bit stronger. And I'm still looking for, when I get strong enough, what I'm going to do next. That's all I have to say.
Well, I've already connected you with a ton of people that need your mentorship, Peggy, most recently, Teresa. So
Yeah,
I
I
think
talked to
that is
Teresa.
a beautiful next step for you, is for you to share your wisdom, experience, and expertise with others as a coach, as a mentor. And I wrote you a personal note, and then I wrote you a public note just telling you I'm so glad to see you after your lung surgery. Oh my gosh, it has just been the best gift to have you on this call. I mean, honestly, my heart is just as big as the state of Texas right now, just seeing you. So God bless. I'm so glad to see you.
Thank you, Linda. Thank you very much. I'm receiving.
Yay.
Thank you, Peggy, for sharing. I could relate to that story because for the first 20 years of my career, I spent it in global business development, where there were very few women. And the latter part was in the mining, construction, and agriculture machinery business. So it was one woman probably in 10,000. And when I left that industry sector and started working intuitively as an energy healer and success coach, I actually went from completely male dominant industry to almost completely female. And on top of that, I started the Athena Circle, which is for women that want to have that holistic growth where body, mind, and spirit are all working in tandem. So we can say I did the 180-degree turn in my life. And today, this discussion is very timely, not just for you, but trust me, I am here with you. I am going through this journey of unwinding every pattern that I used to survive in a male dominated environment.
Yeah.
I was advising owners of companies that would have 5 or 6 companies under their belts. And I had no problem creating strategy for them, but pretty much anybody underneath the CEO level treated me like a receptionist. Why don't you go and make me some coffee? Right after I gave him a $10 million strategy on how to enter Russian market, right? So I had to navigate how to survive in that environment of being constantly questioned whether I have ability to create these strategies. And as I've gone into working with women who are ready to be the embodiment, I had to do a lot of my internal healing so that I could lead others through that journey. So, what I want us to end with is another invitation. When you start working with your womb, which is a beautiful essence of what makes us women, things start changing in your life and you become an embodied female. And I keep using the word embodiment because that's what most people struggle with. There's just too much stress in life. And we tend to leave the house, which is your physical body, and the mental body, which is your brain, is trying to find solutions to how to live in that constant world of agitation and constant danger that we perceive to be in. So one of the practices that I'm gonna share with you and invite you to use every morning to be in your female essence and to increase your magnetic power are twofold. The first one is when you wake up, and you can do it right now where you're sitting. When you wake up, I'm going to invite you to start rotating your womb while you're lying in bed. So you just do circles with your womb, okay? And what that does, it wakes up the lower part of your body. It wakes up the Kundalini energy, the sexual, sensual, which is the manifestation power of women. In other words, we're bringing you into embodiment of who you already are. So that circular movement just says, okay, I'm waking up and I'm going to come up and be in my essence, right? Now, after you get up, let's say you're sitting in front of a computer. This will be good for your health as well. Occasionally, I'm going to invite you to rotate your womb forward and back. So it helps to sit at the edge of the seat and you just go forward and backwards, very gentle. It doesn't have to be very big. One, when we sit cramped at the computer, everything just starts feeling sore. So just going back and forth, tilting it in and out, in and out. One, it will relax your spine. So, hey, pretty good. But number two, again, it wakes up the life force, the prana, the energy that you have. And for women, it's especially beneficial because it just harnesses your attention, harnesses your feminine power and essence. You can put some music on. It doesn't have to be a lot, but just this slight movement of back and forth reminds you to step out of the masculine overdrive, to step out of like, oh my goodness, 20 more items on my task list, right? Which, by the way, automatically you do this and you squeeze your muscles. So by going backward and forward, you will relax and you're like, okay, 10 more things to do. I've got it. I'm in a flow. It's happening with ease, right? So it's operating from a different energy, the energy that says it's going to be perfect. It will happen. I don't need to know how. Yes, I'm just going to do the first one and maybe then I'll do the second one on my task list. And now I feel in a flow. Now it's going really fast, right? So being in that pleasure movement center, in this feminine essence really creates miracles in our lives. So very simple exercises, but boy, are they really powerful. I truly invite you to step into this journey. And I call it the goddess journey because when we are women, we're so busy with work and life and clients and extracurricular activities, we forget that we're goddesses. We're beautiful. We're supposed to be cherished and honored and loved, and we're supposed to receive. So bring the inner goddess out and let her shine in everything that you do. Any questions or comments? Shares? Does everyone feel complete? All right. So with that, Linda, I think we're just gonna close it down. I'm just gonna place the inner goddess journal in the chat again for anyone who wants to explore the essence of being beautiful and magnificent and crowning yourself with whatever you want to be. And thank you so much for being part of this journey.
Yeah, it was amazing. Thank you so much, Dagmar. This was lovely. Thank you for dedicating so much time to the women that are gathered here today. And again, did my heart so much good to see the collection of beautiful, beautiful women here, and especially reconnecting with you, Miss Peggy Hedgepeth, who I've missed desperately. So let's definitely create some time together at your convenience. But so great seeing all of you. Take great care of yourselves over the course of the week. And of course, if you need anything, don't hesitate to reach out. Thank you so much, Dagmar.
Thank you, everyone.